What is going on, everyone? In today's video I'm going to be showing you the step-by-step on how to change the HDMI on your PS5, which is a similar process for most game consoles. Taking a look at this one, it's super wobbly, so I'm guessing it was probably ripped off of the pad, and if that's the case, we're most likely going to have to jump some wires. So the first thing you want to do is remove the top shell. You just gotta hit it. Then you want to remove the vent grill to expose the hidden screws. To unscrew, we're going to be using a T8 Torx screwdriver. Don't worry, I'll leave a link in the description down below so you know where to get them. All the screws holding down this rear frame are 3 different lengths, so make sure not to mix them up. I line them up all in the position they sit on the frame so I know where to screw them in when I'm putting it all back together. Once we remove the rear panel, we'll go ahead and take out the fan grill. It's being held down by 4 screws, which are all different sizes. Since they're all different sizes, I place these screws next to the holes they go in on the fan cover so I don't lose them. And this cover only sits on the frame in one direction, so you don't have to worry about putting it back on the right way. Next, let's remove this cover exposing the cables. Once I take out the fan, I'll disconnect the disk drive power cable and get it out of my way. Next, I'll remove the expansion cover slot, and it looks like there's an SSD in here, so we'll unscrew it and remove that as well. Now let's remove the rear frame along with the disk drive, and let's disconnect the antenna cables as well. The heatsink is held on by a bunch of little screws, so once that's all done, we'll go ahead and take it off. When my customer dropped this off, he mentioned that he dropped the PlayStation while it was still connected to the HDMI, which is why it's super wobbly. And I already let him know that we most likely do have to jump some wires, which takes a little bit more time. Once that's removed, there's 2 screws holding down the motherboard and 2 more holding down the back plate. Once that's off, now let's remove all the cables connected to the motherboard. Now it's time for repair. I'll set my heat at 500 degrees Celsius and the airflow at 70. After a few seconds of heating it up, it should just fall off. And just as I suspected, there are a few ripped pads on here, so we'll have to jump a few wires. We're going to start by removing the leftover solder holding down the legs. After applying some flux, we'll add our low melting solder and mix it in. And once we're done mixing up the solder, we're going to clean it up with some solder wick. So we're going to add more flux to the wick, and then we're going to start heating it up. A trick that I use to get the wick hotter is I wrap it around the tip so that it sucks up the solder faster. I'm not adding too much heat to the board for too long. Once we're done cleaning it up, we'll go ahead and sit the new HDMI on the board and start soldering the pins. The first step is to add flux and some more solder. We're going to individually solder each pin to the pad. What I'm doing is adding solder to the pad and pin so that it makes a solid connection. Now we'll solder on the new wire to the pad and run the trace to the pin. Once we got it connected, we'll rip the extra piece of wire off. And we'll repeat the process for all the other pins as well. Once we're done, we'll go ahead and test out the pins and make sure each one is a solid connection. And the last thing we're going to do is solder on the legs. So we're going to go ahead and add flux to all the legs. What I do is touch the tip to the board and the leg, and once it gets hot enough, I'll add the solder. Before closing it up, I want to test it out and make sure I get image, and it's good to go. If you like the video, leave a like and subscribe.